Hey, Branch Jason. Welcome to Dice Throne Marvel Missions. This is a cooperative expansion. So, of course, up here it says requires a Dice Throne hero to play. So, you need at least, bare minimum, at least one player to play this. Although, you will have single packs, such as Deadpool, otherwise usually you're picking stuff up in packs of 2s or 4s. And it's designed to be played against your heroes are fighting against various Marvel villains. Although there is nothing that says you can't take any of the original IP Dice Throne characters and play them in here as well. The same way you can take Marvel characters and put them into the Adventures mode for that. Yes, this is a very interesting type, kind of like board game boss fight mode sort of thing, where dice, if you looked at the Adventures version of the cooperative, it was a dungeon crawler. We had to move across the map, look for different things, fight little enemies here and there. This is more of a giant boss battlers. We're going to kind of take a look at the rules here in just a moment. I do just kind of look over all the components quick so we can see what's all in there. And we'll probably end up doing a multi-part video on this just because there's enough content. So here's the inside. We just see some more characters. And it's nice because this came out at the same time as the X-Men, but you can play it with all the original Marvel. So if you don't like the X-Men, you can just play it the regular Marvel ones. But we have a buttload of tokens here. So lots of these tokens might be familiar if you're familiar with the game. A lot of symbols are the same type of thing you're seeing other ones. There are some brand new ones as well. We have a second full sheet, and I just popped one out. Some of these have only been, like the 6s, I believe, and possibly these ones have only been in the Adventures game, as well as some of the shield and number tokens. And these are brand new ones. We're going to have a little tray to store all those in. So we'll go ahead and pop all them out and see what that looks like in just a moment. We have 4 generic standees. This is in case for some reason you do not have any of the standees or anything for the characters. I don't know if all of the original Dice Throne characters came with them. I don't remember if even all the first Marvel ones, I believe, all did. All the X-Men did. If you have the miniatures, you can use those as well. They just wanted to give you some generic ones in case you didn't have a standee. You at least had the characters. We have a bunch of sheets here, which are going to track our campaigns, or kind of like our missions throughout the game. Because what's fun about this is it's not just supposed to be a one-off game, play one game and being done. This is so you can go through and you play through multiple games, you check off all these boxes, and it gets you additional rewards to play the next mission. We have another tray over there, which I believe is attached, actually. Then we have all the mission books, and there's a lot of them. So X-Men heroes, regular Marvel heroes, Avengers, Fantastic Four. And then each one is going to be double-sided. So if we just take a quick brief look at Hela here, we're going to have one side is going to say mission side 1. It's going to tell you difficulty, how long it should take, what you need to be doing in there. We'll look at these a little bit more in depth. Let's get a little board on here. Your character's going to move around, attack different areas, try and defeat different enemies. They're listed on there, so that will AI components on there. Then if you get to side 2, it's generally the boss fight. So side 2 is a boss fight, same difficulty usually. Some various other different stuff there, but another map a little bit smaller because you're just fighting one character. And then they have their own little board like your heroes do. So a little bit different than the Adventures game where they had full like decks of cards and you had to fight. You were almost playing against another player just playing this. This is a little bit different, but it is still a fully cooperative game. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 characters. We'll just do a quick run through each one arc. We'll go through this in the next video. Hela, Mr. Sinister, the Super Skrull, Dr. Octopus, Mysterio. This one is actually Mordo, but it is also Dormammu, so it's a double boss fight. Sauron, Onslaught, Claw, Master Mold, Sebastian Shaw, Mystique, Magneto, Thanos, the Green Goblin, MODOK, Kingpin, Ultron, Scarlet Witch, and then Scar. Who's kind of almost not quite a full villain in the sense. Also then in the box, we're going to have some spaces in here, and this is how this stuff came, is we have a little crisis clock. We'll have some momentum counters. These are new mechanics for the game. We have a health dial for the boss, so you get their own just generic health dial. We have a bunch of tarot-sized cards in here. So we have a bunch of allies that we get to play. And on the back, they'll actually say allies. We get some various other characters. This is a fun way to get other characters into the game. And then we also have some momentum cards. Keep track of, and they're 1, 2, 3, 4. This is to keep track of what ranking you're at for various things. And some setup reference cards. They have their own little space right in there. And then we do get some exclusive mythic cards, which are always fun. These were usually generally promo cards that you got for your characters. And the others just sort of more some generic ones that can be used with any character instead. Which is also fun. In case like you didn't buy any of the promo packs ever, you have those as well. If I flip this around to this side, we'll have our bases for our standees. We'll have a special acrylic momentum counter. We'll have a bunch of acrylic tokens here for on the board. And now there are acrylic upgrades to the regular tokens, but those are a promo accessory, which I'll go over in a different promo video. But these ones all come right in the box. They made these because they're big, chunky. You have to move them around. So it's nice that they upgraded those to acrylic. And then we have some clear ones as well as the villain dice. So very cool. And the villain dice can actually then sit right in there. Cool. So we'll look at what that stuff looks like. We'll unbox some of that and spread out in just a minute. But let's look at the rule book and see how this is played. So up here, we want to start this. Our team has crafted an extremely intuitive and high quality quick start video we strongly recommend at learnmdtm dicethrown.com, or you can go to there. Otherwise, I do have the rule book there. So it does mention here, the knowledge of the normal rules of Dice Throne is assumed at this menu. Do not continue unless you have played at least one standard game of Dice Throne. 3 plays is recommended. Each player also requires 1 Dice Throne hero to play. So yeah, just because, although you could pick this up, grab two Marvel characters, sit down and play it, if you don't understand the basic rules of how to play the game, which of course is a versus each other, it's just going to make learning this on top of that more complicated. So if you understand how the dice rolling, how turn order works, all that stuff from the regular versus gameplay, then hopping in here will be like, okay, I don't have to learn any of that. I just have to learn the mission rules. And that's the idea of it. Alright, so here's all the people that worked on the game. We'll just show off some of this stuff. Big, giant, oversized books. This is going to take me a while to try and make sure I can hold it up right. Just showing off some of our tokens. We have 30 boost tiles, 7 mystery tiles, 14 clear tiles, 20 plot, 50 health tokens at various stuff, 25 allies, which is a lot, plus there are some more in the promo pack if you end up getting that. Momentum cards for each player, so it's up to a 4-player. And that lists all our tokens. So we have 4 barbed vines, 10 bleeds, 4 blinds, 16 bonus damage, 6 burns, 12 chaos, 4 concussions, 4 disruptions, 4 dominance, 4 entangles, 7 evasive, 12 flights, 12 focus spires, 4 hexes, I see 6, that messed me up, 4 knockdowns, 8 oppression, 7 paralyze, 18 poison, 40 shields, 4 silence, 7 targeted, and 12 withers. It's a lot of tokens. But it's nice because then it covers all the different characters, can do a bunch of different stuff in here. So we have getting started. So Dice Throne Mission is an easy to set up solo and cooperative expansion for Dice Throne. Heroes are attempting to survive a selected mission while completing objectives, battling henchmen, and recruiting iconic Marvel allies. Ultimately, they face off against the notorious Marvel villain in an epic boss fight. Each game, your goal is to clear both sides of the mission board without a single hero being defeated. New concepts. New concepts for dice or for missions that are not in previous thrones. Melee versus range. In Dice Throne missions, heroes and enemies occupy space on the board. By default, your attacks and defense abilities can only target enemies in your adjacent space. Shares a border. This is melee. Has a little blue symbol. The fist. Various effects in the game will grant you range, which has a yellow targeting system, allowing you to instead target anywhere on the map. Simultaneous play. Features some phases that are carried out by all heroes simultaneously. Work together and make decisions collaboratively. This event, heroes do not agree on a decision and decide what to do in the turn order. So this is also kind of nice because it's not player A goes, player B goes, player C goes, player D goes, AI goes. It's kind of like you all go and you might decide who wants to do what turn, do this. So like I'm playing Wolverine and Cyclops, Storm and Gambit. Someone can be like, oh, it makes sense for Cyclops to go first this time because he can pass out tokens or do this. Then Wolverine's close enough to attack. Then Storm can go, then Gambit. Then the next round it might be, oh, well, Wolverine's right next to a guy. Let him just take him out. And then if he can't, then someone else can follow up with something else. So there's some different missions. Each mission has a difficulty represented by a color die. So this is the same as basically the difficulty on your characters. So an intro is a fun introduction to the game meant to be as easy mode for anyone, including new players. Moderate, without perks, a veteran player will find these missions moderately challenging. New players may find them quite difficult unless they have unlocked perks. So perks are these special things on the board which get you additional like tokens or drawing cards or abilities, things like that. Hard, without perks, these missions are quite challenging for veteran players. Some perks are like required for success. Brutal, without perks, these missions are nearly unbeatable for players of any skill level. Earning many perks is suggested before attempting. Ruthless is making incredibly challenging even for veteran players with many perks, and insane. Mission can be insanely difficult that we choose not to make any of this difficulty yet. So, it's basically saying they're somewhere between 1 and 5. I think there's a lot of them on 1 to 3, and there's a couple on 4 and 5, and they haven't made a 6 yet. So here's a layout of the board. Big giant layout of that board. Because you have all the other stuff off to the side. You have your hero, Wolverine over here, his dice, his counter, his comic dial, and a new momentum dial. Tokens, you have some extra tokens up at the top there for stuff. Allies set out, you have 3 of them drawing, so you can pick one to help you out. Then over here we're going to show we have Storm, she has all her stuff set up. We also put one of these perk sheets underneath, which kind of shows some of the momentum stuff on the bottom. And it also gets this counter there, which we'll look at each one of those do. So let's take a look at that there. So each player chooses a setup of any hero. Players start depending on the number of heroes. So if you're playing a single game, you have 45 health. 4 heroes, you're down to 20 health. Each hero's maximum health is 10 more than its starting health. Players may not start with a mythic ability. For 2, each hero starts with the following: 2 CP, draw a sport card, momentum style set to 0, player 8, and momentum card unlocked on their perk sheet. The card will be at the level 1 and higher. So these are our momentum cards over here. So you'll unlock them as you get higher level by playing subsequent games. You'll get higher ones to start with. Choose a mission, start on side 1, place a token created in reach. For your first game, recommend using Ock Nox Nox mission. So Doc Ock. Shuffle the ally cards face down. Draw 3. Place them face up to create ally headquarters. Create an enemy dice pool by gathering 2 red enemy dice, 1 black dice, plus 1 additional die per player. So you're always going to have 4 dice, but then they'll have more depending on how many people are playing. Each player rolls a die to the starting player. I believe it's just the momentum token. Does it say what it was called on this side? Did I miss that? Starting player token. Just the big hexagonal one. Beehive. Each player places their hero pawn near the map. And then it says, place a crisis clock on the crisis column pointing straight up. Then roll 1 die and advance the crisis clock to the number and segments equal to the result in a randomized starting position. Do not use a +1 side of the clock. So, we have the clock here, and it's basically just going to have you start it straight up, and then you're going to roll a die. It's going to tell you where to start. So that way, every game, it starts in a different position. That's going to trigger various other things that happen on the board. if playing mission run, so it's usually side A, place the health and shield tokens on each henchman on the map so they match the amounts listed on the henchman's info panel on the bottom of the map. Each health token displays two numbers, a low odd number on one side and a higher even on the other side, so 1, 2, or 3, or 4. Play a boss fight, perform the boss setup steps, if any. Just want you to then, wherever the character is on the map, because they don't move around, you want to place their tokens and their shields on there. So let me grab a character quick. Alright, so we'll look at Doc Ock here, just to kind of go through difficulty of 1. So then we're going to have various minions on the board. So they're going to be usually different colors to kind of match with their double symbols. So this has a little crab symbol, matches the crab bot. So it has a little blue bar, matches the thief bot. So this one just has 2, so a little bit easier. And then you're just going to place either 12 tokens or 11 points of tokens on each different enemy. So there's 1 there, couple up there, couple more up there. That's just to keep track of. If they have shield tokens as well, you would place those as well. And then here's our crisis counter. So this is going to start there, and then you're going to move it that number of spaces. Just going to start kind of saying when they're going to activate. So if it lands on this space during a turn, that guy activates, this guy activates, so on and so forth. So they just show, like on here, some of these guys have shields as well, so they gain shield points. So 1 or 2, depending on which one. Shuffle all the boost tiles and place them near the board. Then play a boost tile randomly on each space with a boost symbol. Then flip all the place boost tiles face up. If there are any additional sections present, complete any special instructions. When require a specific token mark. For Doc Ock Knox, there are no additional setup instructions. For many additional setup items you may have unlocked in your personal perks, and tuck them beneath your player board, leaving the feats row. So I want you to just show that so you can keep track of those. So like Doc Ock here, he's just going to have at the top here, going to explain what he does. And it says, goal, defeat all the 3 thief bots with the blue links, then move all heroes through the exit, or defeat all henchmen. Upon completion, if you fulfill the main objective, distribute 6 health tokens and 3 momentum, then flip this board to the final battle. Perfect reward. If your team defeats all henchmen, distribute an additional 6 health and 3 momentum, so you can heal yourselves back up. So here's where your character's going to start, is on this entry point. And then you're trying to basically move through the map. You can't obviously move through guys, so you have to defeat these guys to keep going. But, you could opt to just defeat one of these guys, run over, take out this one guy here, then run up, take out him, and then try and leave. You wouldn't have to fight all the other bigger guys if you don't want to. And then we're going to place our momentum tokens on these boards. So these are, again, our momentum tokens. So they all start with red, so they're randomly shuffled. But then on the other side, they're going to have various symbols like draw 2 cards, gain a CP, draw a card, remove 1 status effect or gain a momentum token, gain I believe that's a dodge token, if I remember right, gain 3 damage bonus. So they're going to then appear face up on the board. So like now that they're showing here, so now you're going to be like, this one has a 2, this has gain elusive tokens. So then you'll know what the bonuses are at the beginning of each game. You just don't know which ones they're going to be. And here they show their miniatures over here. And they're actually using their particular standees that they had for the game. If there was any additional setup, it would be in that top corner. So let's just grab another mission. So like here for Super Scroll, for example, it says, additional setup, mix 3 mystery tokens, tiles, and 3 X mystery tiles face down, then place them next to the map. So that's going to have you just set up some extra tokens. Ahead of time, if we look at someone like Scar, it says, for his is like, remove Hulk from the ally deck. After completing the other game effects, including well cards from the top of the deck, equal to 4+, 2 per hero. So you got to do some other different stuff for each different one there. So yeah, setup is pretty easy. Just kind of like follow the board. Put the tokens down, put the other tokens, the damage tokens down, have all your stuff set up. Essentially, all the tokens are in a tray. That's really nice because then you can just bring the tray over and you can put the rest of the box kind of away after that. So we have round phases. So we have game rounds. Each Dice Throw mission, you're required to complete the main objective on both chosen sides of the mission board. Upon completing side 1, team will advance to side 2. If you complete side 2, you win the mission. In the mission run, usually side 1, you'll move your heroes around the map, navigating unique rules and puzzles while fighting various henchmen. In a boss, usually side 2, you're attempting to defeat a powerful villain, usually reducing their health to 0. Now, there is, like I said, Baron Mordo and Dormammu are double boss fights. There might also occasionally, I don't know if there's any in this one, but they at least could do 2 mission runs. There could just be 2 difficult missions as well. So the round phases are pretty much like lots of the other stuff. Gameplay takes over as 30 rounds. Each are broken up by 8 round phases. Phase 1 is a pass phase. Pass the starting player clockwise. This is skipped on the first round. So one of the things that you're just going to instinctively start doing. Movement phase. Heroes move and collect boost tiles that they land on. Hero phase part 1. Heroes simultaneously complete your upkeep phase, income phase, skip on the first turn. Main phase 1, then roll their attempts to start the offensive roll phase. After finish your roll attempts, they say ready to attack. So all the characters can do this at the same time, so you're not waiting around for everybody, which just speed up the game. Target and resolve phase. In turn order, each hero resolves their offensive ability against chosen enemy. If the enemy is a boss, you resolve the enemy's defensive ability for each attack. Hero phase 2, simultaneously complete the hero phase 2. So that's basically the same, like, the regular game obviously doesn't have necessarily a pass or a movement phase. But all the hero phase 1's basically the same. Targeting, if you're playing a multiplayer game, it'd be very much the same idea there. And then hero phase 2. Enemy upkeep. Resolve applicable upkeep phase on enemies. Enemy roll phase. Perform the enemy's offensive roll phase by rolling each enemy dice once, regardless of the number of enemies. Apply applicable offensive abilities. Heroes can defend against defendable attacks. And then the Crisis Clock. Event the Crisis Clock hand. Activate each Crisis ability on the Crisis Clock hand as it moves through and ends on, but not the one it started on. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. So I have the pass phase. Alright. Pass the token to the side 1. Except for the first player. This is whenever you're asked to resolve something, turn over against the starting player. Movement phase. During the movement phase, all pawns are moved simultaneously. The following considerations. Hero can move any number of spaces, including 0, and end their movement on a hexagonal space. Your pawn is not yet in a space because you're beginning a mission. You must move it to the map from the entry space. If there's no entry space, first moves to land on any valid space. You cannot move into or through any special space via your special dark insert background unless it's covered by a defeat tile. Some missions use clear tiles and also be sometimes moved on to depending on specific mission rules. You cannot move through other heroes, swap spaces. You can move through other heroes or swap spaces, but multiple heroes cannot occupy the same space at the end of the movement phase. If multiple heroes want the same space, the hero earlier in the turn order decides who should occupy it. You can move through or land on boost tiles. If you enter movement on one or move boost tiles, you collect them. You'll most often want to enter movement next to an enemy because the attack and defense abilities are melee. So that's very simple there. This book is so big. I do wish they made a smaller book for this. Storm enters the map through enter space A and enter movement on space B. Picking up a boost tile there, so she landed on. Wolverine moves through enter space as well and you just move on space C. So you can move through Storm. They just can't move through the enemy. They have to move around them. Hero phase 1, complete the first part of the Dice Throw turn simultaneously. This includes upkeep, income, main phase, and roll attempt. When a hero is ready to activate abilities, say ready to attack for whenever they're ready to move on. Prior to activating offensive abilities, heroes may each progress through phases of their turn at their own pace. However, heroes cannot interact with teammates unless they're in the same phase. For example, a hero in main phase cannot target a teammate as enter their offensive phase and vice versa. So although you can do everything simultaneously, to an extent, because it's a cooperative game, it makes sense for, like, okay, everyone do your upkeep phase, draw your cards, do your income, gain your CP, and do all that stuff first. Then do your main phase. Everyone ready? Can else want to play cards? Do that. Then someone can enter their offensive phase. Now, there might be times when someone might want to lag behind a bit because Just because of the fact is, I guess someone might be like, hey, if Wolverine, I have a card that can help Wolverine, but only if he's in his offensive phase. I can help him re-roll a die or do something there. But I don't quite want to. I don't want to do so. Still want to take my main phase afterwards or first, because that way I can be like, oh, if he needs help, I can spend this card. If not, I can spend his main phase card on myself. You might choose to do that as well, but that's just based on what you have and what you decide to do. So enemies. So on most sides of the map will feature 3 types of henchmen and 1 unstoppable. Size 2 will usually feature a boss. All of the enemy characters are called enemies. Enemies are considered players for all cards, effects, and ability. Because enemy players are at their maximum health is also 10 above their starting health. So they can go up to 10, so they can heal out. You cannot change the enemy's quantity of dice, the type of dice that are rolled, nor the number of roll attempts, such as Entangle or Warp Reality, have no effect. Enemies have 0 cards and considered infinite CP. When you place a status effect on a targeted enemy with an ability, you can choose not to place that status effect, instead gain 1 momentum. This is helpful if the enemy is immune to the status effect at stack limit, or if the enemy's status is simply not useful at the time. So if it says something, like it's going to poison them, right? You're not worried about dealing 1 damage. You can always opt not to. It is a nice effect to be able to do that stuff. Or again, like, it's going to affect their roll attempts. They get 1 roll, or they get their roll attempt. But yeah, so you don't want to, like, oh, this is going to limit their rolls. Great, well, that doesn't help. Or it can change their dice to something else, or, things like that. Yes, we have here. The henchman shows the thug cult stats ability. Any henchman on the map marked as panelist can use stats for that. Unstoppable threats. There are special enemies tagged with the orange unstoppable threat. These enemies cannot be targeted by offensive abilities. Also, they can never receive damage or effects placed on them. Each unstoppable threat will explain what it does during the enemy roll phase. On its info panel, a hazard, if a mission requires you to defeat all enemies, does not include unstoppable threats, since you can't damage them. Alright, then after all the heroes have, I skipped an entire spot here, my bad. So we went from hero phase 1, we forgot to do targeting. Because then we have hero phase 2. So target and resolving. After hero phase, players take turns selecting a target with their offensive ability. If your offensive ability is an attack that deals at least 1 non-collateral damage to an opponent, it is considered melee, meaning it can only target one adjacent enemy. You cannot resolve any part of a melee attack unless there's an adjacent enemy to the target first. Ranged attacks. To target a non-adjacent enemy with a range, you must gain range. You may gain range by spending momentum or through allies. Gaining range must be done before resolving the attack. Unlike melee, you're allowed to resolve a ranged attack without choosing a target. This can sometimes be helpful in situations. Note, range is not required if your offensive ability is an ultimate or only deals collateral damage or no damage. Therefore, it isn't an attack. These abilities can target any enemy on the map. So if it just delivers like a status effect, you can go ahead and do it. Ultimates can hit whoever because you're ultimate. Storm and Wolverine complete their offensive roles. Simultaneously, each activates their offensive ability, which deals non-collateral damage to enemies, so they're considered attacks. Storm resolves her attack first because she's the starting player. Attacks are melee. She must choose the enemy she can target. Could be a cult in spot E, because she's right here, she can attack on E, or she could attack strike team D. If she were able to gain range, she could instead target anywhere on the map. Wolverine resolves his next attack, but since he's only next to cult member E, Thug Cult, he must attack this target because he does not have ranged. So very interesting. Alright, then we have Complete Hero 2, same thing, do their discard phase. And then we explain all our enemies. Enemy upkeep phase, resolve upkeep phases on enemies in any order the player chooses. Then we have the enemy roll phase. During the henchman's enemy roll phase, gather a pool of enemy dice which are determined during setup, so 4 plus for each player. Roll them exactly once, regardless of how many henchmen are attacking. The heroes use the effects of the dice, then the henchmen attack. Can use effects to adjust the dice. You can move them up and down, like change the numbers up and down or to a different symbol and stuff like that. You just can't like literally remove the dice. change the dice that are in there, anything like that. It's just like the type of dice that are being rolled. So you can't be like, I'm going to give them one of my dice, or, you know, something like that. Each offensive ability was activated. So each undefended henchman with the offensive ability activates in order, crossing the map from left to right, then top to bottom. Most henchman abilities are multi-strike attacks. Multi-strike attacks resolve against every adjacent hero for melee attacks, or every hero on the map for ranged attacks. If multi-strike attack cannot target a hero, it is not resolved. Each time a henchman's offensive ability resolves, perform all its listed effects. Finally, if the roll dice contain dice symbols required by any of the unstoppable threats, it'll activate as well. So it's saying, for this example, we go from left to right, activating offensive abilities of Cult Thug 1, Hellfire 2, then Sniper 3. Because what we are looking for is we have 3 of these symbols, a yellow and a blue. So he has 3 there. He has 2 orange and a yellow, but he does not have enough blue to activate that one. Defensive roll. Heroes may perform defensive roll against each defendable enemy attack. Heroes may always perform defense roll against adjacent defendable attacks. Heroes require range to perform defense roll against non-adjacent defendable attacks. So if they're shooting you at range, you have to be able to range back at them. If an attack targets multiple heroes, resolve defense rolls. If an enemy is defeated during a defense roll, their attack still finishes resolve against all other heroes that are originally targeted. So, like, Wolverine slashes back at them with a counterattack and defeats them. He's the first guy. Their attack would still attack everybody else. When enemies inflicted with a status effect, we remove at the end of their turn or roll phase, blind, paralyzed, is always removed after resolving the enemy's attack against the first targeted hero, and doesn't affect the attack against the following heroes. So it's kind of like each different attack against a different hero is kind of a little different turn. Some effects will limit which attack the enemy can activate. Hex or Spellbound. These status effects are removed after resolving the enemy's attack against the first targeted hero. Does not change the attack which they activated. So this should be, for example, if for some reason they have 2 attacks, and they have the second one blocked out, right? And then after the first, so they have to initiate their first attack. Then if after that, that token goes away. Now they could technically have enough dice rolled to activate their second, because they don't re-choose it. Alright, then we have Crisis Clock Phase. Enemy's turn concludes when the Crisis Clock determines what harmful things happen to heroes. Rotate the Crisis Clock 1 clockwise number of segments equal to the number of heroes. Each segment on that Crisis Clock hand will advance through or end on, but not start on, will activate any crisis abilities. If a segment's crisis ability shows a specific effect, such as lose 1 CP or discard, it activates for all heroes. When a segment displays an icon of an enemy of each type, each undefeated enemy of that type activates its crisis ability. Crisis ability can be used to target anyone, but some might specify only target melee. Some Crisis Clock icons will have effects that are defined above the Crisis Clock for bosses, usually. All damage effects will accumulate against each target, then damage are resolved together at the end of the phase. All of the effects are resolved in clockwise order. So in a 3-player game, we'll advance 3 segments. So segment F requires each hero to discard 1 card. Segment G is empty, so there's no effect. The hand ends on H with Cult Thugs, which means Cult Thugs activate their crisis ability. There are 2 undefeated Cult Thugs, so all heroes receive 4 collateral damage. Lastly, 2 enemy dice are rolled for the last part of the crisis dice. So let's take a look at Doc Ock and just look at those guys quick again. So there's our crisis counter. So every time it passes through, so if it starts here and we have 2 players, it'll 1, 2, so these guys will activate their ability. If we were here and it went 4, it'll 1, 2, 3, 4, so we'd activate both of theirs. So you kind of see even have 4 players, so it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's going to be probably the only downside, but that's not going to hit too often. Some of the later ones are probably a little bit more of a pain. So like, here's one for Super Skrull, has a lot more symbols. So you get on this side, you're going to hit a bunch of stuff every time. And then if we take a little bit closer look at some of their abilities down here. So if we get 3 orange or 2 orange and a blue, it will activate their abilities. So Melee Strike does 4 damage. And then his says multi-strike melee. Inflicts burn, deals 2 undefendable damage. So it does less, but it does give you that burn token. But otherwise, I have a Crisis. So this one says do two collateral damage to all heroes. So definitely don't take these guys out. They're going to just keep doing a lot of extra damage to you, potentially. And this one's going to give each one a shield. Yeah, so it makes them harder to take out. Then we do have our unstoppable threat. So if we do roll a yellow here, multi-strike range deals 2 undefendable damage. So if you don't take that, you can't take it out, so you're going to keep taking it. This enemy cannot be damaged in any way or afflicted with status effects. So very cool there. Alright, so that's the basic mission side in your basic turns. The next thing we have to go over are boost tiles. So boost tiles are placed face up around the map during the setup. Every boost tile provides a hero who picks it up with the effects shown on the face side. Collect boost tiles on a space you are at the end of your movement phase. Face-up boost tiles are resolved immediately upon collecting them. You gain its benefit, then discard the face-up boost tile. Discard stack beside the mission board. Face-down boost tiles only appear during a boss fight. When there are one or more face-down boost tiles on the stack, you collect and place them face down your health tile. You do not gain these rewards until after the boss's next attack. So, very interesting, different way to use both of those. No more boost tiles from the drop pile. Discard the stack pile, face down, reshuffle new ones. So this is what each one does. I'm not going to get into those too much. We'll look at those later. Momentum. The little M symbol is new currency you can track on your own personal momentum dial. You can have a maximum of 15 momentum. Gain momentum by defeating henchmen, collecting boost tiles, and completing objectives and more. Perform momentum actions. Describe your momentum card by spending momentum listed on the left of the action. There is no limit to the number of times per round you may perform momentum actions. However, some momentum actions have a limit how many times you can use them, or are limited per turn phase. Ally powers on recruited allies often require you to activate and spend momentum. You'll be in your first game with a level 1 momentum card. Unlock momentum perks to gain access to higher cards. Unlike other perks, you must get momentum perks in their order. Yes, it's kind of neat. So you can gain some extra different abilities such as Recruit Ally or Gain Rage. Recruiting Ally cards. Allies are special characters you can recruit for help. When you're recruiting Ally during either of the main phases, spend momentum, desired cost of the ally in the top corner. So if we grab one of these guys quick, so Squirrel Girl is going to cost 1 up at the top corner there. Replenish ally stack immediately. Draw a new ally from the top of the deck. Replace 1. Each hero may only have 1 ally. You can play by default. You can increase your limit through unlocking perks. If you want to recruit an ally but already have 1, you may discard 1. You have to go to the bottom of the ally deck to make room. Using allies. Allies will have 1 or more powers. Each ally may only be activated once per round. Most powers will only be activated during a specific turn phase, unless they are marked as an instant action. There's a momentum cost to activate power. It'll be spent. So, basically, instead of your CP does your normal deck, momentum does your allies, basically, is a big thing there. So they can have multiple things here. Recruit. So that's your recruit abilities. So, like, Cloak here has recruit, he gains a shield. Our one-time effects immediately link allies recruited. Kicker. Activate during your offensive or defensive roll phase. Can be used once per round. If you meet a kicker's requirement, if any, provides a bonus to your additional ability. So it lets you add an additional thing to whatever it says it's going to do. Make sure you read, because like this one says defensive ability. Sometimes they're going to say offensive. They have an offensive ability. So like C for Angel here. So he has that. Will give you new offensive abilities considered to be one of your own abilities on your board. These abilities will mention that if they are ranged or default to melee. During your roll phase, you may still only activate 1 offensive ability, whether an ally or not. Some of these will show dice with circles or diamonds as the roll, which represent matching symbols of any type that appear in your hero's dice. So for Angel, or Archangel, if you want to use his special ability, which is range, 3 flight, and deal 6 damage, you need to have 2 of one symbol, 3 of another. So that's a fun extra way to give you some alternate options. Exhaust. Our powers are gained by discarding the ally at the bottom of the ally deck. So you can basically just get rid of either of them. And then exhaust plus exhaust. Also gained by discarding the ally to the bottom of the deck, but they may be activated at the same time you activate the power listed directly above it. So, like, Cloak here can exhaust for all damage from incoming attack. Archangel can use plus exhaust to gain additional flight and inflict 6 poison, but then you have to use that as part of his ability. And then if we look at another example here, a Squirrel Girl. She has once per round during your main phase. You can spend 3, all heroes gain bonus damage. She's a face-up bonus tile on the board, pick it up and gain its reward. And you can exhaust her, all heroes gain bonus damage. So basically she has one use, and you don't have to use the plus exhaust. You can keep using the other one multiple times, or you can use the exhaust at the same time to get rid of it. Winning and losing. Main objectives are defined on each side of a mission. Gameplay continues in rounds until your team has won or lost. You win the mission by completing the objective on both sides. You lose if any hero is defeated. Or if an objective specifies states you lose the game. If a hero is defeated, you lose at the conclusion of the current round. If you complete side 2 main phase run, it still counts as winning. So what this basically means is everyone has to survive side 1. But when you get to side 2, if you're fighting the boss, again, you're playing your 4 characters, if Wolverine ends up dying because he's right up in the thick of it, and then by the end of the round, between Cyclops, Storm, and Gambit, you take out the boss, you still win the game. So it's like Wolverine attacks the boss, defeated by the boss's defense, same round. Captain Marvel managed to defeat the boss with her attack. Results, to win for the heroes, to complete it before the end of the main round. Regardless of whether you win or lose, check to see if you gain any perk points. Perfect reward, additional for fulfilling all perfect rewards. Bonus objectives. Additional objectives are listed on many missions. Completing a bonus objective will reward for your team, while failing one may enact penalties. Bonus objectives are resolved before main objective if completed simultaneously. Completing both sides of the map. When your team completes a main objective on a side of the map, current round, if you complete side 1, you can advance to side 2 of the following. Do not reset your health cards or momentum. They are not starting a new game. So it's just part 2. Keep any face down boost tiles you may have. Place all other boost tiles on the discard stack. Check if the mission has any effects that carry over to side 2. Then flip to side 2 and follow steps 11. Then set the map up. Exit. Some main objectives require the heroes to exit the map. To exit the map during the movement phase, all other main objectives must be satisfied. You must be able to move to the exit via a connected path. Once you reach the exit, immediately move your pawns from the map. You'll no longer take turns, receive damage, or suffer any effects from offensive or crisis abilities. However, the number of heroes considered stays the same. Any heroes that do not exit may continue to perform rounds as normal. So, just as again, kind of showing this off here, that means if at the end of the game, we're kind of over here, and we've defeated all the blue bots, we can technically leave. There's another one there I didn't even see. But, let's say this green guy's still alive. Cyclops is running low on health. Storm is at half health. So they could run and get to the exit. Then Wolverine and Gambit could be like, hey, we're going to spend 1 extra turn to try and take out this green guy. He only has 5 more health. And we're going to see if we can do that. They can go ahead and keep doing that, but they're still going to roll dice as if there were 4 characters on the board, not as if there were 2. But if that's the only guy left, that's not such a big issue. But even still, you can only leave though once everyone's there. So now if you for some reason failed to kill this guy way over here, but you killed everybody else on the board, nobody can go sit at the exit if they want. They just can't leave until they defeat that guy. Cool. Alright, so I'm not going to go over this too much. We kind of explain here's how the combat works. Just kind of showing off that. You can pause it if you want to read all that. Because we want to jump into boss fights. Alright, in a boss fight, you'll attempt to defeat a powerful villain usually by reducing their health to 0. Typically be on side 2 after a side mission run is complete. Not always the case. Here are some rules to keep note. They're both face up and face down boost tiles located on the map during a boss fight. Pick up all boost tiles on a space where you ended your move. Face up tiles in a space are resolved immediately, then discard face down tiles in the space are placed on your health tile until after the boss attempts an attack. Bosses have a defense ability, unlike henchmen who have no defense. When you hit a boss with a defendable attack, boss automatically activates your boss defense, so they play more like a regular player. With no dice roll is required, so they're just going to do whatever it ends up saying. Resolve the defense, then apply the other effects such as shield. Some bosses have unique defense, which special activation rolls are resolved last instead of the first. Read carefully. We have boss roll phase. When a boss attacks, roll the enemy dice once. Using the same quantity and enemy dice gathered during a step. This then proceeds as follows. Heroes may alter the dice, same as before. For each red dice, place one face-down boost tile and the number of space matches the die value. Both tiles may end up in the same space. So they're going to have various things on there. If there are a tile there, add the new tiles beneath them. Important, a boost tile placed beneath the hero is not collected. Compare the enemy dice to the boss attack from left to right. Activate the first offensive ability with a roll objective that matches the dice. No boss matches, none match the boss does not attack. Activate the offensive ability, adds crit effect against each attack hero who is standing on a face-down boost tile or who has one or more face-down boost tiles on their health tile. So, if you're on a tile or getting this is going to be a little bit different. The other one, you want to collect them, gain the bonuses. When you're on a boss, yes, you want to be on them because they gain you a bunch of bonuses, but they're also going to make you an additional target for an attack. And then all heroes will all face-down boost tiles on their health tile. Resolve their attack. So they target you, they do their crit, you make your defense roll, then you gain all the boosts, assuming you're still alive. And then we have ending a boss fight. Like a mid-range boss fight, features a main objective, typically requires you to reduce the boss health to 0. Some may have other specified requirements. Fulfilling a boss's main objective requires a side mission, and as the current round phase concludes. If on side 1, while completing map sides of side 2, you win. So let's take a look at that quick. So we have Dr. Octopus. So on the bottom here, he's going to have Crushing Grasp, Laser Strike, and Rapid Slash. So if you roll one of each symbol, he gets to do his Multi-Strike melee for 11 damage, which is like his powerful one. And if you're on a splash, he has 3 crit damage. But if you only roll 2 of the orange and 1 blue, he gets Laser Strike, so he does 9 damage, inflicts burn. But if you're on 3, if you only get 3 of the orange, he gets melee for undefendable damage and does 2. So now, if you're rolling, normally roll 4 dice, you're playing with 4 heroes, you might roll up to 8 dice, I believe, 7 or 8 dice. If you rolled, 5 of these, and then a blue, you don't get to do this and this, you just do this one. If at any point you roll 1 of each, you do this. If you did not, you rolled a blue and an orange, but you did not roll a yellow, then you'd see if you rolled two oranges. If you did not roll a blue as well, then you'd check this. And then he has his retaliation, just says melee damage does 1 damage. And some of them are going to be more powerful than others. Then on the board here, his is very simple. He just has a very one spot. So when it says for each red die, place a face-down token, so every time you get one of the red dice. So we have 2 red dice you get to use. So if we roll a 2, you put tokens on the 2 spot. Now to look at a different villain. I think all the villains are very close to the same. Let's see if we have one that has a little bit different setup. Yeah, so we have something like this for MODOK. So instead of it being a circle, he has a couple of safe spots down here. Well, some spots right there. But yeah, he's gonna have some other spots in here as well. You move around, but you can't circle around him. He's always gonna be one direction. So some are gonna have a little bit different setup than some of the other characters. Then on the top here, it says boss fight. Boss steps are to 30 health plus 15 per hero. Main objective reduced to 0. And then he has some crisis abilities. So these are going to work the same way as the other guys. You're going to check a spot, you're going to move for each one. So if there's 4 players, you're going to move 4. You're going to activate each one of these abilities for each time it crosses over. So every time it happens through a green one, he's going to roll 1 die per hero, gain a shield for each one. If you have a recover, he's going to gain a shield, removing status effects. Trauma aid, he's going to get that. So each one's going to give them different abilities based on each one. And if we grab, like we were looking at Super Skrull as another comparison, so his is going to have different symbols. Now he only has 4 instead of as many, but he's going to have some different stuff as well. his goals and stuff stay the same. He has very similar abilities on his board. Uh, two oranges and a yellow. So I have all three of them, so he's not going to have to worry about getting that extra blue to activate that one. I just want to do a quick look at some of these. Like Modoc's very similar. He has his stuff. He has all his different ones. So each one's going to have a little bit different, but very similar idea. So there's a boss fight example, so I'm not going to go over this too terribly much. It says, they roll dice one at a time, compare the results on attack, activate Magneton. So he got those, so because he did not get a yellow, because he did get a yellow, he would have activated Magneton. But they used a die to change it to an orange, re-rolled it, made it an orange or whatever. So instead he didn't have a yellow, so now he's going to do Mind Rings. That obviously when he can affect their attacks. Because he had a threes, he's going to place two different ones on the 3 spot, so under Iron Man over here. Then he's going to do his attack, afflicts all his different status effects, do all that stuff. Says Wolverine and Storm each suffer a crit once. Oh, sorry, it's not Iron Man, it's Wolverine. Because Wolverine is under that token, he's going to suffer that crit damage, which would be the extra effect. Why is Storm getting it? Oh, here it goes. It says, Wolverine suffers crit because he is standing on a face-down boost tile. Wolverine suffers a crit because she placed a face-down boost tile on her health tile from when she moved down into space. So when she moved there during last turn, she picked up the tile, but it stays face down until after the opponent's attack. So it's kind of like if you want to get them bonuses, you're going to take the risk of taking extra damage. But if you don't pick them up, then you're not getting them extra effects. Cool. Alright. So then the last thing we have to kind of go over are perk points and perk sheets. So the perk sheets, after the first time playing Dice Throw Mission, every player should tear off one of their own personal perk sheets and record their name on the top. These sheets record persistent rewards for that player. The player keeps a sheet with them, can use to unlock perks in future missions, regardless of which Dice Throwing hero they're playing as or who they're playing with. So, if I'm playing as Wolverine, I don't have to play as Wolverine every time. I could play Wolverine this time, Thor the next time. Heck, I could go grab the Barbarian or the Treant from the original game. Each time a player plays earns a number of perk points, allowing them to fill in one circle on their sheet. Once all the circles with a given perk have been filled in, that player will gain the benefits. So here's kind of how we earn them. So 0 if you did not complete any mission, 1 if you completed only side 1, 2 if you completed both sides, and 3 if you completed both sides and earned the perfect reward. Perfect rewards, each map are optional and difficult challenges and attempt to earn in-game rewards and additional PP. First time you earn 3 PP reward for perfecting a mission. Fill in the mission's perfect slot. You cannot earn that 3 for perfecting the same mission second time, but 2 PP for winning. And any in-game rewards for perfecting can still be earned. So let's take a look at these these sheets. Just take a quick look at that. So, for free, you get to start with your momentum, level 1 momentum card. But then as if you want, you can up your momentum cards by adding more. So if you have to get 3 the first time, so if you perfect the first game, you could jump up to here. And these ones you have to do in order. But all the rest of them you can kind of pick and choose. So once I unlock 3, I can unlock 1, 2. I can unlock a 3, a 3, a 3, a 3, a 3, 3, 3, 3, 2, 2, 2. I can go on these 2 and that one. There's only the other 1 up there. But you can save them up and stuff. And you get some extra additional stuff. So most of these are like heroism at the start of the game. You get extra abilities. Leadership, extra start. You gain some extra tokens. Extra health for crit. And at the bottom are feats, which stay underneath your character board at the beginning of each game. So if you have any of these, you get these abilities throughout the entire game. So like reduce the crisis clock by 1 movement. Or your attacks become undefendable. Or exhaust abilities like discarding an enemy. So these are kind of fun that you get to trigger at them. From the start of the game, place 1 plot token on each unlocked. Remove it as this effect activates. You only get it once per mission, but that's kind of fun as well. You perfect the perfect mission on any of the different difficulties. You get to go ahead and put a complete on there. So you only get that 5 times. And then it says, after completing all the steps in Circle 1, you may begin a new game plus by starting a blank new sheet. Add the new sheet, add a plus next to your name as a badge of honor. Each time you achieve a new game plus. Players complete step 1 has at least 1 plus at the end of the game. They start each game with one of the 4 mythic cards in the game, or the hero's unique mythic if you have the promo pack. So they want you to do is complete perfect missions 5 times. Then you could restart your sheet over. You could reallocate different stuff in different orders if you like, because you're starting over again. But it gives you the ability, now you get an extra mythic card, an extra ability to do stuff. You can even add in the extra promo card too if you like. So yeah, very simple there. After each minute, all earned PP must be spent on the perk. You only spend PP to fill in one circle in any column. So like if I have 5, I can't be like, oh, I'm gonna save up till I have 5 and just get this one ability. You have to start filling in that 5 circle. So if I wanted 4, if I wanted this 4 here, and I only had 3 points the first game, I have to put 3 in there. That means next time I'd have to probably put 1 in there if I wanted to finish it, or I could put 3 somewhere else and do somewhere else. Just not getting ability. But you can't just hoard them from one game to the next. Be like, oh, I guess maybe I wanted this one instead. We've already spent your points. And spend P lock any perk you do not have is previously unlocked, except for the momentum roll. We just looked at that. It's very simple. Applying perks will tell you when to apply them. We just read over the new game plus. If you wish, you may choose to start a new perk sheet as follows. Discard your previous shirt. Earned peaks and recorded perfect mission can only be used. They're just basically starting over. Yeah. So they're just kind of showing like you just getting various things here and there. So like this one, it looks like one time they got perfect over there. They did 2 points on that one, 2 there. Then they started that, but then they decided to go down to here. So you're not even expected to just finish off one thing. You get more perk sheets at mtmperksdicethone.com. Then on the back side, we have our different things: Strike, Vortex, and Hedron. We have all different status effects, which I'm not going to go over them too much. In this one, we'll get them in another part of the second part of the video, since it's already getting long enough. But you can also increase difficulty. You want to play at the lower level difficulty. You want to play a lower difficult mission again, but it's too easy for you. Fear not, you can increase the difficulty. Add an additional black enemy guy, inflict oppression on your heroes. Starting health increased by 2 for each level. You use a +1 crisis clock, so it now moves 1 extra segment. Or boss setup, apply special effects for each oppression to all heroes. Or increase PP heroes. When adding 1 or more levels of difficulty in a mission, you may apply perk points earned from the mission to the column. Difficulty equal to the mission's total. So, for example, you play Nuclear Assault Mission level 2 and you increase the difficulty by 3, making it a 5. So you added 3 extra things in there. Now you can earn up to 5 on the apply all mission for the 5 column of the perk sheet. Yeah. Or you can decrease it. The game's a little bit too hard and you just want to have more fun. Double all perk points, start with additional 10 health, start with 5 momentum. I don't think there's anything too much else to look at for the bosses and stuff. I want to grab one of the bigger bosses, harder guys. So, where is... One thing I will say is, I wish they had these a little bit easier to find out. So here we have a level 5 here. So we have Scarlet, which is level 5. So I just want to kind of like do a quick look at what some of her stuff is. So she's a level 5 there. She has a bunch of additional setups. She's going to gain some extra tokens and things like that. So goal is to defeat the Ancient Horror. So this has a big boss you need to take out of. She has other little symbols on the board. A couple other little minions and stuff you have to deal with. There's like 20 health and 2 shields, 25. This guy's 45 health, so he's going to be a little bit of a challenge. Plus an unstoppable threat. Bonus objectives are grab artifacts before demons steal them, so you gotta do some stuff there. Then I'm fighting her side. Same symbols as lots of the other guys, but it's just 16 damage, 4 damage, 7 damage, so a lot more damage that way. Crit counts as ultimate ability, so you can't mess with it. Otherwise, yeah, it's pretty simple just to go fight around her. Her different stuff there as well. And then boss setup she has. So I guess it says per compression token on all the heroes. Scarlet, so she gains 3 extra health per compression token. And then receives 2 damage for each artifact the hero has picked up. So depending on what you get on the other side. You see like this one takes 75 to 100 minutes. To play the entire game. Alright, that is what we have for Dice Throw missions. Very long video to go through all the rule book. But we have the idea of what's in there. So come back, check out part 2 when we go through what all the other components are more in depth. Look at the ally cards, look at all the different tokens, look at each mission board a little bit more in depth. See you guys there. Bye.